Welcome back to the San Diego Opera Podcast. Again, my guest is David Bennett, the Executive and Artistic Director of San Diego Opera. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Detour series. First of all, one of the operas in the Detour series, which of course is 3 Decembers by Jake Heggie, one of our favorite people.
Absolutely.
One of our favorite American composers of opera. But before we talk about the opera itself, tell us a little bit about the Detour series. How did the Detour series first come to your mind as something viable and alternative for San Diego Opera?
I will say, I think I said this in another one of our podcasts, that when I considered putting my name in the ring for being considered as a general director here, one of the things I was excited about and made me feel like I was a potential good candidate was the work that had been done in terms of the statements about the company, the mission and vision and core value statements that talked about embracing diversity in repertoire, diversity of venues, scale, nimbleness, all of these things that I think cried out for a different kind of approach, continuing to honor what we do on the main stage, but adding something to that could explore what the potential of opera could be.
If I could expand on that a little bit, it seems to me that the community footprint suddenly was something that was really, really important to us.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Detour, I think, would do that, right?
Exactly. And so for the first year that I was here, we had all of our programming chosen. There was no Detour program or even a concept of the Detour series at that point, but we did these town halls where I went around and asked people their impressions, and I showed members of our community examples of what other companies were doing in terms of chamber opera and alternative venues, and there was a lot of real excitement about that. And in those town halls, it was an interactive process where we asked for people's reactions with iPhones if they had them, so smartphone technology, and we were able to actually gauge people's interest in a quantifiable way in this kind of stuff, and there was a real sense of excitement. So we knew we were on to that, something as an idea.
Right.
So we just created a separate series, and the word detour came to me because I was trying to find a word that was on the same path, but was a different journey along that path in a way. And so
going to the same place, but perhaps taking a side road to get there.
Exactly. And so it is in the world of opera that we know it's a different path to that in that world. And it seems resonant, and it's got some power, and clearly people are interested. We are now in year 3 of the Detour series, and it's selling well.
Yeah,
so.
I think certainly artistically it's been very, very successful.
Yeah.
And the numbers have also been good, which really helps, and it shows us in a kind of a concrete way that Detour means something to our core audience, and they'll come to it.
And the big surprise for me is that the majority of the people that buy our Detour series are our audience that go to our other performances too, that are main stage attendees. We do have several people that are starting to come along now that have not come to the opera, but the majority of the people also see our main stage and they come to the Detour, which is a wonderful thing. That means people are open to exploring what the potential of different kinds of opera can be.
Well, so let's talk about a different kind of opera.
Let's do.
3 Decembers, what makes 3 Decembers a great choice for a Detour?
It's written by Jake, and as you said, Jake is one of our favorite composers, and I think Jake writes very expressively for the voice, right? And one of the things we're trying to prove or explore in the Detour series is that the commonality between big and small, the centerpiece of both is exploring the expressive potential or the expressive nature of the human voice. That's really what is the centerpiece of all of it. And so Jake is a wonderful composer for that because he explores that expressive kind of writing in an intimate way in this work. We know his work on the main stage. He's done both Moby Dick and Great Scott were his works that were big successes here. But this is his same kind of expressive writing in an intimate venue, in an intimate expression, an intimate story. 3 characters over a period of time, and exploring those same characters and their relationships over the course of 3 decades.
Yeah. The story is fascinating, and the structure that he uses three scenes, I guess, one act. It's what about a 90-minute piece?
Yeah.
Three scenes that are separated by 10 years
Correct.
each.
Yeah.
Mother, son, and daughter,
Yeah.
and their relationships as they're expressed in those three different decades.
Right.
Very interesting structure that works well.
Yeah, we see them interacting in a December. So there are 3 Decembers where we see their lives a decade apart.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a saying, I believe, that you see in some of the promotional materials about this opera, that it's really an exploration of the family that we have versus the family that we wish we had.
Right.
And I will say there's some real dysfunction in this family, in this opera. But all 3 are really strong characters that are explored over these 3 decades.
The mother is a kind of Broadway baby, I guess. She's an actress who's had some success, and in fact, I think is it the second scene where she's up for a Tony?
Correct, right.
And there's a big crisis around that.
There's a crisis in all 3 of them.
She's a typical, sort of stage creature, and the kids have had to deal with this over the years. And how do we talk to mom, and how do we tell mom this, and then the other way, how does mom tell the kids the truth about the family, and family secrets are revealed. Don't want to say too much.
Right.
But it's very involved for a rather simple 3-character 90-minute work.
Very much, yeah.
But beautiful.
Very beautiful writing, very beautifully written dramatically as well.
Yeah.
So I think people will find it to have great resonance. Yeah.
Now, the exciting thing is that in that role of Maddie, we have a very special singer.
We do. Frederica Von Stade is coming back to San Diego, and this is a role that was created for her.
Right.
Just like when she was here last, when she was here with Jake in Great Scott, Jake created that role in Great Scott for Frederica Von Stade. And this was written for her as well. She did the premiere, and she still is performing this a fair amount, which is amazing.
Yeah.
She quote unquote retired, I think, maybe 15 years ago now.
Well, and this was supposed to be her retirement role.
Yeah.
And here she's still singing it,
right? Exactly.
Which is great.
Yeah. And so she was a member of the original cast. That's Maddie, who's the mother. The daughter is also a member of the original cast. Her name is Kristen Clayton. So we have 2 members of the cast that Jake wrote for
in Houston.
As part of our cast, right? And then the son is a young baritone that I've worked with before named Stephen Labrie. It's a very beautiful baritone. I think will be really amazing in this role. This is a role debut for him. So this is his first time to sing this.
Now, where is this being performed?
A new theater for us. So that's another part of the Detour series, is exploration of venues. And one of my goals is to stretch geographically. The first year we did everything at the Balboa so we could sort of dip our toe into opera in a different space. But let's do it all in one space.
Right.
Last year we had 3 venues. Last year we were in the Kroc Center
in Rolando.
I know, yeah. I remember one person saying to me, "I cannot believe you got an audience to come all the way out here." It's just Rolando, but anyway. And then the Lyceum and the Balboa.
Right.
This year we're back at the Balboa, but this is at what's called FAME, PHAME, but it's Patrick Henry Arts and Media Center.
A brand new opera.
Brand new venue,
theater,
and it is a gorgeous theater. I mean, if you see a picture of it, you would not imagine this is on the campus of a high school in Del Cerro. But it's a beautiful venue. I think it's probably the best acoustic that we have in San Diego. It's beautifully silent, and that's a quality of a really good acoustic hall, is that there's a real sense of silence in it. It has a beautiful pit, an ample-sized pit, which is an important thing for us to consider when we're thinking of venues for opera. It won an architectural award, so it actually is an architectural icon in a way. So we've been thinking about this venue for a couple of years, and when we reached out to the school is very excited about it because they have a fairly sophisticated technical theater training program for their high school students.
Oh, perfect.
So their students will be involved in some aspects of this production.
That's so great. That, being former education director.
Yeah.
We're looking for opportunities like that
Yeah.
where high school students particularly can even observe
Yeah.
and be involved in some small way in the production of a professional theater piece
Right.
or professional opera. That's terrific.
Well, one of the things we like to do in our education programs is make sure people see that if they want a path in the future, a career path, it doesn't just have to be the singer that's on stage.
Right.
You know, you've experienced this. We do this. You know, how many people does it take to put on an opera? At one of our main stage operas each season during our student dress rehearsals, and we bring on stage basically everybody that is involved backstage, and then the students get to see there are hundreds of people
Yeah.
behind the scenes that make an opera work. So it's another opportunity for people to be able to see themselves in this field in another way.
Yeah, exactly. So, stage director and conductor.
The stage director is a woman named Karen Tiller, and she is on the staff of Hawaii Opera.
Ah,
And we are in effect recreating a production that was in Hawaii last year. It doesn't exist anymore. It's mostly it has a very heavy use of video in this production, very beautiful video. So we'll be in effect recreating that, but she directed it there, so we're bringing her to direct it here. You know, it's one of the things about our Detour series is with these smaller works, there don't often exist productions that we
Right.
can rent like we can in a
Right.
big one. So we
Right.
tend to construct them from a new production. So she is our stage director, and a young man named Adam Turner, who is on the staff of Virginia Opera, is conducting for us, and he conducted in Hawaii, and Flicka asked me, she said, if you haven't hired a conductor yet, you should hire this guy, because he's fantastic, and also very good with this repertoire.
Oh,
So
great.
that was a recommendation that came to us from Flicka.
Well, I'm so excited to see Flicka come back
Yeah.
to San Diego because I have one terrific memory. You know, at the beginning of every production that we do, we have a meet and greet.
Yep.
And we ask the singers to be there, you know, a little bit before the time that we would normally begin rehearsal at 10 o'clock. So we ask them to come between 9:15 and 9:30. And, you know, some of them straggle in, and, you know, the
Some
staff
of
is
them were
always there,
waiting,
and some of them were. But I'll never forget, because I'm an early bird, so I was there at 9:15 for the meet and greet for Great Scott. And the first person in place for rehearsal and the meet and greet was Frederica Von Stade.
Wow.
She is such a consummate professional.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So engaging and so immediately accessible. This great singer, you know,
Yep.
with this amazing career. And she was the first person there, ready to go,
That's great.
ready to greet people and ready to meet new friends in the opera business. I can't wait till she comes back. This is going to be great fun.
I'm thrilled to have her back, and
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to bring more of Jake's music to San Diego as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Thank
Great.
you.
Absolutely.